Hi, this is Roger in Finland, and today we're going to take a look at the Laowa 17mm f1.8 for Micro Four Thirds. Alright, and for the impatient ones, this lens is equivalent to a full frame 34mm in terms of field of view. It's a full metal construction, it's a full manual lens, it's tiny, optically good, it focuses very close, and it looks great on an Olympus pen camera. And for those of you interested to stick around, let's go and check out some more details. The brand of this lens is Laowa, which belongs to the Venus Optics, and this brand is mostly known for their wide-angle and specialty lenses. They do make rectilinear wide angles. They're making the 7.5mm f2 for Micro Four Thirds, a 9mm f2.8 for APS-C, and a 9mm f5.6 for full frame, which is, I believe, the widest rectilinear lens there is for full frame. All of these lenses are full metal construction, all of them are fully manual, and the 17mm is the cheapest of the bunch. I did have the 7.5mm f2 for Micro Four Thirds some years ago, and what I found that both of them come sealed in vacuum, which is something I have only seen in these Laowa lenses and in the Sirui 50mm anamorphic that I reviewed recently. The focusing ring is closer to the body than the aperture ring in this lens. It's well dampened and nice to use. It doesn't have a very long throw, but the thing is that it's very small. The lens is tiny. It's about like 5 centimeters tall, and it weighs only 160 grams, even being full metal construction. So that might make it that if you have big hands like mine, a little bit difficult to operate the focusing ring. The aperture ring, fortunately, it's on the front of the lens, so it's actually quite easy to operate, even if still in a very small package, and it moves in full stops, except the first one. So it goes from 1.8 to 2.8, f4, f5.6, and so on and so forth. The aperture does have 5 blades, which means that as soon as you stop it down a little bit, you will not have round bokeh. And because it's a fully manual lens and it is manual focus, of course, you will want a camera that has good focus picking, hopefully a good screen, and if it's a sunny day, a good EVF. In case of using it handheld, 35mm, it's like relatively wide, so you actually don't maybe necessarily need stabilization, but if your camera does have in-body image stabilization, that's always a plus. And if you have the chance, like with the Panasonic G9 for instance, then set the correct focal length when turning on the camera with this lens mounted, because then the IBs will perform at best for that particular setting. Because this lens, it's not only that it's fully manual, but it has absolutely no electronics in it, which means that when it's mounted into the camera knows nothing about the lens. Right now for this video, the Laowa 17mm is mounted on the Panasonic G9, which pretty much ticks all the criteria I was mentioning before. Really good IBs, good picking, good screen and good viewfinder, but to be honest, this lens looks quite ridiculous in this body. The G9, for being a Micro Four Thirds, is a fairly big camera, and I know that this shouldn't matter, but this lens looks really good on an Olympus pen. Optically speaking, this lens is very sharp at 1.8, and it just gets better after that. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I do appreciate and like very much when lenses have a short focusing distance, and this one really does have it. The closest focusing distance for this lens is 15 centimeters from the sensor, which is a very short one. This is almost a pseudo macro lens, and that's something I do enjoy very much. The lens comes with this tiny metal hood, which I'm not sure how much it does perform as a hood itself, but I always keep it on because this offers some protection on the front element. And what does this compare to? The closest comparison is obviously the Olympus 17mm f1.8 autofocus lens for Micro Four Thirds. That Olympus lens is probably one of my top favorite lenses ever for the Micro Four Thirds mount. I got rid of mine some years ago when I stopped using Micro Four Thirds. I haven't got another one now that I'm using Micro Four Thirds again, but it's in my radar, so as soon as I find some good deal, probably I'm going to snatch one copy. Many Micro Four Thirds lenses use focusing fly-by-wire, which I dislike very much, but the Olympus one has that one clutch, and when you pull the clutch, then you have a fully actual manual focusing, which means that it's almost as nice and comparable to this Laowa. We have the same focal length, we have the same f1.8, we have excellent manual focusing. So what's the difference between these two lenses? Both of them are actually even similar in size. The Laowa goes for around 200 euros or dollars, and the Olympus, you can find it somewhere between 350 and 400 euros or dollars. So that means that it's about double of the price. So it's really up to you. The difference between these two lenses is one does have autofocus, but costs almost double amount, the other one doesn't. Which one do you get? Alright, so if you liked this video and you found it interesting and useful, please click like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon for some more content.